Well, hello there, and welcome to another playthrough of Commands and Colors Ancients. Today we are at a place called Lake Trasimenus, which is located, well, a bit northeast of Rome, well, actually at a distance from there. And as the name says, this is a lake where the battle took place on the northern shores of that lake. And yeah, we are now in the year 217 BC, so it's a year after the Battle of Trebia, which we did last time, when we saw the consul Sempronius being a bit too eager to attack Hannibal on his terms, actually, and Hannibal has done this ambush with his brother Mago in lead of that. But, well, it was a good ambush, but the ambush we will see in this battle is of a very different scope, because this is one of Hannibal's masterstrokes once more. I mean, he's putting virtually the whole of his army in ambush of the Romans here. So, as we said, 217, so of course we have new consuls. Sempronius was recalled to Rome after the loss of the Battle of Trebia, and well, his aim was, of course, to win against Hannibal, get the fame, and maybe even have a triumph for his honor. But he failed that, so he didn't get a too good of an ending of his year as consul. So for the next year's consuls, or this year's consuls, 217, we have a man called Servilius, and also a man called Flaminius, which will be the leader of this battle on the Roman side. And well, both new consuls had to move up north to, take control and take charge of the remains of the Roman armies that were left by Servilius and Scipio for 218. And, well, they were pretty battered, so the Romans had actually to raise 4 new legions to fill up the ranks and fill up the army with units. So again, the Romans were filling in with green troops here, and they were divided between these consuls. So Flaminius, I think actually Flaminius was the guy who took control of Servilius, Sempronius forces, not Servilius. He was a guy who got closest to Hannibal when he took charge. And Hannibal, I don't know if he knew this guy from before, but he gathered some intelligence about Flaminius. He knew he was an kind of incompetent and very, eager to fight, and could do some, reckless actions. So Hannibal's plan was to use that to his advantage, of course. So he wanted to provoke Flaminius for a battle. In the beginning, he wasn't able to do that, actually. Flaminius stayed in his camp, refusing battle. Hannibal moved his army very close to Flaminius' camp. Flaminius still sitting there, not coming out. So Hannibal actually marched his force around the flank of the Roman camp and army, and by that placed himself in between Rome and Flaminius' army, which was a problem for Flaminius, because now his line of communications was broken there. For Hannibal, it was, of course, his line of communications up north was also broken, but he was not that dependent on that. He was more or less living on the land with his army, so he was okay with that. It was a bigger problem for Flaminius. So, but still no battle occurred. So Hannibal had to do something to provoke Flaminius to come out from his shell, So he started to pillage and ravage the lands around him, and I mean that was one of Flaminius' tasks, to protect the countryside there from Carthaginian forces, right? So Hannibal was provoking him by that. He was burning the villages and burning other homesteads and farms. So in whatever direction Flaminius were looking, he saw smoke pillars rising up to the sky, and that's really inflamed him, and he was really, really angry about these happenings. But still, no battle. So Hannibal probably a bit disappointed about not getting that battle he needed, because one other thing was that Flaminius was kind of waiting for Servilius with his forces to join up, so they could, join forces and attack Hannibal. I think that was probably the reason why Flaminius did refuse battle. Hannibal knew of that, of course, as well, and he wanted to take Flaminius first in a single battle with him before they could join forces. But Flaminius didn't take the bait, so Hannibal he gathered his army and started to move towards Apulia. And, well, at this point, Flaminius thought, okay, we need to do something. He's gonna go down there now and pillage there and ravage and burn. And that's a big problem also, because, well, I mean, one of the reasons for Hannibal to doing these devastation of the countryside was, of course, to provoke Flaminius. But there's also another reason, of course, that I mean, those guys on the countryside were, they have an allegiance to Rome. They had this pact that the Romans would actually protect them, right? And now it was evident they couldn't protect them. I mean, Hannibal could do whatever he wanted there in the Carthaginians. So Flaminius was failing in his, and Rome in general was failing in their mission to protect their allies. So that was the other reason why Hannibal was kind of grim here. And now he was marching towards Apulia. Flaminius saw that, okay, these guys will maybe defect from us because they don't want their villages and towns to be burned by Hannibal. So he packed up and started to march after Hannibal. And Hannibal, of course, got news of that. He was very happy, I guess. And at one point, this was in June 217, he was close to this lake Trasimenus. And he was marching around the shore and realized, here's a perfect place for an ambush against the Romans. So he made up a plan here, because here's a plain where he could do the attack, because on both ends of this plain there was a narrow, entrance and exit out of these this lake shore and the mountains here. So they could easily bottle up the Romans here, and that was the plan. So he marched through this and set camp on the other side of the valley here, or what you would call it. And the Romans were coming pretty hastily after Hannibal. Now Flaminius wanted to battle him before he went too far. Flaminius' advisors said, no, don't attack him. Wait for Servilius to join up. We need both forces. But Flaminius didn't want that. And they tried everything. They said, well, send your cavalry just to harass the Carthaginians and hinder them from ravaging the villages. But no, Flaminius was not. He didn't want to hear that. He wanted a battle here. He wanted to crush Hannibal now. So he actually, force marched his army towards Hannibal here. And Hannibal, of course, knew of that. So as I said, they set camp here. And to further lure the Romans, he told some of his men to set up campfires further away here to the outside of this map, and to just give the Romans the illusion that the Carthaginians were farther away than they were, and they were setting up camp on a hill in the distance here. But it was going to be night, so the Romans also set a camp somewhere on this edge of the valley. And when the darkness fell, they saw these fake campfires burning in the distance. They thought the Carthaginian army were camping there. But the truth was that Hannibal now started to distribute his army just north of the lake here, on the other side of the on the mountains here. So he started with sending his cavalry all the way to, to be able to attack the entrance to the valley here. More or less, they wanted to, block this entrance, so the Romans, when they have entered the valley, they would not have a retreat path out of it anymore. That was the mission for the cavalry here, so they could do a fast approach here and hinder the Romans from retreating. He also set up all his Gauls here. We are seeing some warrior units here, and his light infantry up in the hills. This is a great effort. He needed to silently put all these guys into the correct positions, give him the correct orders for the next morning, and lots of different nationalities here, so lots of different languages, but still he needs to get the order out. This must be perfect to be a successful one. Then at the other end, he placed his trusted veterans, Africans and Iberians, heavy infantry here. So, and himself being here as well. So we are seeing some heavier troops over here. They would just stop and block the Romans from advancing while the ambush force were attacking. So next morning came. Flaminius, eager to continue his pursuit of Hannibal, started marching his troops again along the shore. He entered the valley. He failed to scout the area, which is typically Roman in this time. They're not doing enough reckoning. He could have seen that there were some activity going on. There are thousands and thousands of troops up in the hills here. So just sending a few cavalry scouts up there would have probably saved him from the disaster that will occur in a while. Anyway, he didn't do that. He marched through the valley. His avant garde suddenly stumbled upon the Carthaginians here. So they were waiting for him, and a battle was joined up here. At the same time, when this happened, it's said that trumpets were sounded along the line of the Carthaginians, and the ambush started. So the lighter troops and the cavalry rushed forward. The fierce Gallic warriors started to charge, and the Romans, they were really not knowing what was happening and hitting them. So they tried to, in open formations here and in march column, try to, do some kind of putting them forces into ready for fight here. And what happened then was that the Carthaginians were able to cut the Romans into three sections, more or less. They blocked the entrance to the valley, as was the plan with the cavalry, so the Romans had no other option than to fight. So there was a fight happening here. In the center, the Gauls were attacking the middle column here, and that was the place where Flaminius were located himself. They were, here was we have some good troops here. We have legionaries here. in the center. And we have probably one legion here and one legion up here. So there was a really heavy fighting here. It took, I think it was according to Livy, it took like 3 or 4 hours with heavy resistance from the Romans. The Gauls were attacking wherever Flaminius were located. They wanted him, you know, and so the Gauls were after Flaminius all the time. But Flaminius is said to have, being a tough guy, he fought well here and rushed to places where, you know, critical places in the battle and took charge there and command and, you know. So they were fighting good. But in 3 or 4 hours it was all over. Most of the Romans were fleeing out to the sea here, or to the lake, sorry, and were pursued by Carthaginians on horseback, just killing them there. Flaminius himself was actually killed here and beheaded by, I think, by a Gaul. If I remember it correctly, his name was Ducatus or something like that, the Gaul who killed Flaminius. Over here, actually some Romans managed to, at some point, do a breakthrough, and a few thousand of Romans actually managed to flee out here from on the advance guard. They have some, you know, a whole legion here with the heavier troops, so they could hit hard here. But all in all, it was a disaster for the Romans. I think it's said that about 15,000 Romans were killed this day, and many thousands more were captured as prisoners, sold as slaves, and a few got away. There was actually a force heading towards Flaminius from Rome with some reinforcements. I think it was like 4,000 or 6,000 men. But those guys got also attacked by the Carthaginians. I think this was the day or a few days after this battle, and also killed and captured. So not a good day for the Romans, not good times at all. And as said, Flaminius was killed here. It's a big victory to Carthage again, as in Trebia. I mean, this maybe even a bigger victory, and of course the big ambush with a whole army is the big thing with this battle, that Hannibal was that he managed to do it. It's just crazy and unbelievable even. Just, you know, imagining the thousand men and horses here being silent to be able to do the attack and surprise the Romans. Very well, that's the story about this battle. And so let's check out the war council for this game then. So we have the Carthaginian army led by Hannibal. They're having 6 command cards and they move first, of course. Then we have the Roman army led by Consul Flaminius, and they start with 2 command cards. But they have this special rule here saying that for each turn they will draw 1 more card until they get their hand of 4 cards, which is the hand they will play for the rest of the game. But since I'm playing with Stuka Joe's Solitaire rules, I will not, give the Roman any less cards than the 5 that they get in the beginning. Instead, I'm giving Hannibal more opportunity, so they will have, extra cards in slot A, B, D, C, and D, and whenever they play the extra cards in B or D, they will not be replaced by new cards. But these 2, A and C, they will be always having 2. They will always have 2 cards in their slots for the rest of the game. So that's how we're gonna balance this thing. We'll play till we get, or one side gets 6 banners, and there's 2 more special rules actually. So we have the Lake Trasimenus. That's impossible, of course. And then we have some hill hexes here, 4 steep hill hexes on the right side of the battlefield, as noted, are impossible terrain, and that's these 4. So looking at the game board here, first of all, I have put some markers on those hills because I will forget it all otherwise, so I need to remember that I cannot enter those hills. And then we have some more hills over here, and the lake down here, and that's pretty much all the terrain we have in this battle. But as you can see, we have the Romans very close to the base edge or the lake, with the exception of the avant-garde, who has gone a few hexes into the board here, actually already in the middle of the board here. And then we have the Carthaginians ready for the ambush. So let's have a quick look on how the forces look. We can start with the Romans and start with the head of the snake here, and up there we have some Roman allies, these auxiliaries, and some velites in the center. Then we have the legionaries coming here, 2 of them, and then some triarii, heavy infantry behind here, and an unnamed Roman leader. Then we have some Roman cavalry. Then comes the next legion, I guess. We have some triarii, we have some velites, auxilia, more auxilia. Here we have 2 medium heavies, and here's Flaminius himself. And towards the end we have some more of the lighter troops, velites, and 2 auxilia units at the very end of the tail end of the snake going up here. So pretty much a standard Roman army, maybe a bit less cavalry than usual that we used to see, only 1 unit of cavalry here, but otherwise, well, a decent army. I mean, we have 4 medium heavy infantry and 2 heavy infantry, so these guys could bite if they get the chance. So the Carthaginians, if we start over here, also we have Hannibal here with African troops. We have Iberians. So here's the heavier force of the Carthaginian army, actually. So we have an auxilia, 2 medium heavies, 2 heavies, and then we come to the ambush force that will rush down from the hills. Then we have 3 auxilia units here, an unnamed leader. In front of them we have 2 slingers, and notably they are already in range here for firing. Then we have 3 units of Gauls warriors, so they are not yet in position to reach the Romans with a charge, so they need only to go 1 hex first, and then they could charge. And then we have a pretty big cavalry force here, 6 units, even though 4 of them are lights and 2 medium heavies. So we probably have some Numidians, and we have Iberian cavalry coming here, maybe some Africans as well. And of course no elephants in this battle, they are gone. But well, a good strike force over here. So for the battle plans then, well, for the Roman side, who are receiving this ambush attack, I think we just need to try to, there's not much to do. We need to go towards the Carthaginians. We cannot stay on the board edge and take those flags. So we need to move up the whole force as soon as possible. Up here if we can shift the forces here, bring the lights a bit back and bring up the heavier, we can give the Carthaginians a good fight over here. And here we just need to, just move towards them, see what happens, hope for good cards, and hope those guys get bad cards. That's our only chance. We don't have any real options here. For the Carthaginian player, well, we just need to hit them as fast as possible. And over here we are not that dependent on battling. We could of course I think we just stay here. If the Romans come to us, we'll battle them, of course. So they are pretty much just being an anvil here. And here is our hammer who hammers down towards this, the lake. And well, what can we do then? Well, I think we should do as in history. Try to do some sections of the Romans. You know, try to punch a hole somewhere here and somewhere here and get them into sections. The reason being that then they lose the you know, the support you know, by being adjacent to 2 units, and by that ignore 1 flag, because you can get that hole. One of the units on each section will be unsupported unless there's a leader on the edge, and then they start to take flags and also die by that. So I think that's an important thing. But first of all, we need to get the units up to be ready to do the attacks. Get the warriors in place 1 hex forward so we can do the charge the turn after. That's what we want. I wouldn't mind to get them line command so we can move up the whole force here. Or a cavalry charge, we could do it. I mean, here we already had 1 guy who is not supported and cannot, you know, they cannot really do anything. But we don't have any heavier stuff that can reach him, so maybe we can put some fire on him from the light cavalry. Let's see. That's the main plans at least. So let's start the game. Okay, so we start by checking what the Carthaginians have in their slot A and B. So here we have the line command we're talking about, and 3 units center, very good. Very good. Then we have a counterattack. Last but not least, a coordinated attack. Okay. Very good. So let's see if we can use that line command as the first action. That's an E, or meaning tactics card, or lowest order count. So line command would be an tactic card, right? So I think we're going to do that then. Let's play the line command. It was one of the cards I was looking for, actually. I'm thinking of not... You know, I think I'm not doing anything here. Of course, we could get hit by those missiles if they get up, but nah. I think I'll stay with Hannibal's force there, because if the Romans come up and place themselves in these 3 hexes, I can attack them from, you know, 5 hexes. If I move forward, there will be 3 against 3. So I'm happy with staying there. But over here, I will start moving, of course. These guys will, though, just fire. So let's see. Move up these guys. And I think I move these guys here and these guys here. That's what I'm gonna do. Well, actually, I'm actually gonna do this. I'm gonna start moving some of the heavier down here, and instead move the auxilia up there. Okay, so we are starting to do the descent from the hills here towards the Romans. But here we can do some fire from the slingers, and let's see, who should we pick as our target? Let's start here and attack. Let's attack that auxilia there. And that's 1 hit. So 1 down here. First blood. So we got a loss there. And then in that case, I think I'll take the same target with the second one. And another hit. So that's a good to start with the skirmishing here. 2 of these Roman auxiliaries already down in the first turn. Wow. Okay, that was a line command. So now we're gonna replace the card in slot A. Remember, an A and D. What did I say? I think I said the slot numbers wrongly in the beginning. Anyway, just to repeat, I'm gonna keep the cards in A and D. I think I said A and C or something like that. But I mean A and D, and the slots in B and E. When I will use the second card, I will only have 1 card for the Carthaginians here and the slots. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Okay, then it's the Romans, and we're gonna check their slot A and B. 2 units left. And I'm a Spartacus, okay. Could be handy eventually, maybe not now. So now we're gonna see what card they could play. That's the same one. So we had a tactics card and we had these ones. So it needs to be these actually. So 2 units left, because I don't want to play the Spartacus card in this already here. So 2 units left. Now, what should we do? We should probably it's difficult. This is really difficult for Romans. There's no places we could, you know, force them to retreat really. Pretty hard. Let's see. I want to get these guys, I think, from the baseline, and also get a few hexes of retreat paths. So I'm gonna do this actually. I'm gonna pull up these 2 guys. These will go up here, and these will go up here. Thinking of having them here perhaps, but then these guys cannot retreat. No, let's put them here. At least I'm up from the baseline, and these guys can now retreat at least 2 hexes if they get flags. And we're kind of, you know, if the cavalry wants to go down and attack here, they need to stand on the hill here, or even if the warriors do it, and then they only get 3 dice in the attack. I mean, these guys only get 2 anyway, but let's say they're heavy cavalry. That's also 3. But cavalry is always 2, I guess, in hills, up hills and down hills and all that. So yeah, I think that's the best we can do right now. And let's replace that card. Okay, here we go. It's the Carthaginians. Okay, C or lowest face up. So we're gonna see what we have in C. We have sorry, it's the Carthaginians. We didn't see that card right. So C, here we're gonna bring up that card. So it's C or lowest order count. So it's move, fire, move, which is pretty good, I guess. Or lowest order count. That would be 2 units center. So 2 units center or a move, fire, move. I think I'm gonna do the move, fire, move, because now I can do a real raid with those Numidians. So let's do that. Move, fire, move. So I can order up to 6 units. Yeah. Pretty good, pretty good. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna use my cavalry, and let's just bring in those slingers in a new fire here. So we want to pour in some good fire here now. These guys will stay, and these guys, let's see what we want to hit. We will only get one die if I stay. These guys could be here and fire with 2 actually. That could be something. But these guys need to move, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2. This is a problem. This is a problem. Maybe I shouldn't activate that guy. Let's take something else. Let's take these guys. And they just move 1 forward. Like that. So now we can do the fire. Let's mark these guys as moods. Remember, we only will get 1 die. So let's continue with the slingers first. So they will continue harassing these auxilia. Start over here. And can you believe it? 1 more hit. So they are already down to 1 block. And we still have another one coming. 2 dice. That's a flag, but we are still supported, so nothing there. I think I'm gonna throw my javelins from the auxilia at the same target. Only 1 die this time though. No green, so those guys survived. Then we start with the cavalry. Let's start here. 2 dice against that auxilia. 2 flags, well, need to take 1 of them. So we push them back a bit. Interesting. Then we have these guys. They will throw the javelins against that medium heavy infantry there. Miss. Second one, same target. Flag. Take that and ignore it. So that was the fire. Now we can move again. And I will actually move back to the line here with my auxilia. I don't want to get hit by any of these medium heavies here. Let's see. 1, 2. One, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Something like that. And yeah, the thing is I cannot. No, I need to go here. I mean, this is a too dangerous place of a beam, because if these guys move up here, attacks, I cannot evade, and I cannot ignore any flags, and I retreat 4 hexes per flag, you know, so these guys will die pretty soon. But here I can do an evasion. But the reasoning why I wanted to put them here was to have a free lane for my medium heavies to do a counterattack. Now they cannot get out, but let's see. These guys will not move at all. So that was the move fire move. We put a new card in slot C, and then the Romans. A D or E. So we have a class of shields. Cannot use that really now. And then we have medium troops. Okay, medium troops. And this is the second turn, so I will now have, let's see, 3 cards in my hand as a Roman player, so I could order 3 mediums with this card right now. And I think I'll start moving up. Here I'm stuck behind my lights. But here we have some mediums, so I'm gonna start moving up those guys actually, and I will also let's see if we can do a hit and run with the medium heavy here against those slingers. We don't want to be harassed by those guys. So let's see. I don't like this at all. As the Roman, this is so difficult. I mean, if I place myself here, I'm gonna fighting uphill against those warriors, and they're gonna surround me. There's really no place to go here. So let's do like this. I had to split them. I wanted to get them adjacent to each other so I get the leader bonus, but that will not happen. So let's go here. And that's basically it. This is, I think this is a good picture of what happens. A total confusion in the Roman ranks. They're seeing big line of Carthaginians coming down the hills, and from the forests, hilly. I mean, the forest is on this hillside. If you have seen pictures of that, those mountains, it's easy to hide there because there are trees and stuff. So just pouring out, stones from the tree lines, bringing down lots of auxilia here. So it's a total confusion here now in the Roman ranks. How should we do with the cavalry? Well, I'm gonna rush in and do an attack here. I need to do something, and I'm gonna attack those guys. I don't want them to be adjacent to a leader if they hit back. So should we evade, by the way? Yeah, I guess we should do that. We're gonna roll those 3 dice and hope for some green. We got one slinger block down, but we cannot pursue. So that was basically the medium troops. Replace this card in slot E. So now they have the 4 cards that they will play with the rest of the game. So Carthaginians, C, D, or E. That would be 2 units right, 4 units left, 3 units left, a line command again, and 2 units right. So a lot of flank cards here, and then we have the line command. Nothing in the center, interestingly. Which is interesting. But I will actually do another line command. So let's see who we're gonna order. These guys all the way here. Yeah, that's the way it's gonna be done. So I'm gonna march down from the hill now, giving some leader support. These guys will go uphill. They can fire. And these guys will attack those legionaries who stepped forward. Like that. So let's see. Let's start with the slingers. They will throw the stones against that cavalry who rushed forward. It's 1 die. And that's a flag that they need to take, but they just go back to the baseline here. They are done. Then we have a warrior attack against Flaminius here. So I'm gonna get 4 dice, and I have leader support. They can ignore 1 flag. So I got 2 hits, no flags though. And we're gonna check if he survived, Flaminius. Yeah, he did. So we're gonna fight back against those warriors. And that's a good one. 3 hits on those guys. As in history, good fighting by Flaminius and his men. That's not all though. We have an Auxilia who will attack as well. It's 3 dice. Again, leader support. This time 1 hit and 1 flag. We'll check about that flag in case Flaminius is a casualty. Nope, but it's getting closer now. So I could opt to take that, or I could hit back. And I think I stay and hit back since I can, as long as I'm alive here. So Flaminius and his legionaries will fight back. And they actually kill that Auxilia. So incredibly enough, the first victory banner in this battle goes to Rome. I wasn't expecting that. So congratulations, Rome. We get the first victory banner by that. A good roll, right? So Flaminius is fighting very hard here. Then we have the second charge of the warriors. So let's start here where we don't have any heal restrictions. So it's 4 dice, and the Romans cannot ignore any flags. So I got in 2 hits on those guys, but they stay there. That's interesting. So they're gonna fight back with 4. No leader support this time though. So it's 1 hit and a flag, but since these are both supported, then they have this inherent you know, they can ignore 1 flag. They're gonna do it as long as they have full strength. So we take away 1 block, and then those guys stay. And these guys now attack downhill, and I'm pretty sure they get 3 dice for that attack. I think I'm gonna check that up before I roll, because I want to be 100% sure. Hold on. Yep, 3 dice it is, and of course I will do that, because if I manage to get these guys to retreat, I can pursue and attack again. So let's see if we get a flag. No flag, but 1 hit. The Romans will now counterattack, but they only get 2 dice because they are fighting uphill. And no leader adjacent, so nothing happened to these warriors here. But the Romans are standing the ground with heavy losses, but they are also biting back, especially with Flaminius here. So that was a line command. Both armies in a bit of disarray here now. So that was slot E, meaning I will not replace the card. That's a Roman turn. D or E, Clash of Shields. We could actually use that this time, or Dark in the Sky. Oh man, oh man, oh man, this is 2 good cards now. I mean, Clash of Shields, we could hit hard here and here with 6 dice each. So we could for sure get these guys. We could come after and attack again. I think this is okay to do a bonus close combat with this card as well. If eligible for bonus, units battle with normal. Okay, it's normal dice in the bonus combat. Okay, so that will only be 2 dice uphill there. That's not too great. That's not too great. But we could actually, with a bit of luck, get 2 banners this turn. For the Dark in the Sky, well, these guys have line of sight. These do, these do, these do, and that's it. But still, we have 3 units who could fire. Of course, these guys could retreat, and then we don't have any more targets. But who knows when we get these opportunities again. I'm though leaning against the Clash of Shields in this case, actually. It's a bit difficult choice, because if I don't do that, these guys will be killed next turn. That's for sure. So yeah, let's play the Clash of Shields. So I get 2 bonus dice. I have no movement. So these guys and these guys will attack. Let's start with the lone block here. So it's 6 dice. And that's the target. We need 3 hits. Let's see what we got. Crazy bad roll. Not a single hit, not a flag, nothing. Just bad rolls. So that was a waste. So those guys will now battle back. They have 3 dice because they are now more full strength. And they got that necessary hit on us. And those Roman legionaries go down. The Carthaginians got their first banner. Well, that was unexpected. Let's see if Flaminius has some more luck. He got 6 dice against that lone warrior. He needs 1 hit with 6 dice. That should be possible. Yeah, a bunch of hits there. So these guys go down. And we got the Roman second banner. We could march in here, attack with 2 dice up here. And I'm crazy enough to do it. 2 dice. We got 1 hit. And we're gonna check the Carthaginian leader. He's fine. So they will now battle back with 3 dice. They killed us. We got the second Carthaginian banner. And now we're gonna check Flaminius. He's fine. So he can now retreat back to these auxiliary unit here. Okay, that was the Clash of Shields. Well, we have an even count of victory banners at least. So, even though it doesn't look too good for the Romans, but still. Let's see what the Carthaginians can do then. C or lowest order count. So it's a 2 units right, or 2 units center, or another 2 units right. Okay, so it's 2 units right or 2 units center. That's the choices I have. And I will go for the 2 units right actually. And those will be those guys will evade. That sucks. I could kill off these guys now. Maybe I should. Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna place these guys here. I'm gonna order my warriors. So these guys attack here first. It's 4 dice. Well, that was 2 flags. They they cannot ignore anyone. So they actually take 2 hits. And then they battle back. And that's 1 hit and a flag. But they can ignore that flag if they want to. Otherwise they need to retreat. Is it 2 hexes for warriors? Let's check. Yeah. So they shouldn't go back here then. But I'm not too afraid of those guys. So I'm gonna stay here. Then comes the second attack downhill. It's 3 dice. I need 2 hits. And I got them. I got 3 actually, thanks to no retreat path. So that auxiliary unit goes down. We got yet another of these. Meaning these guys can advance and attack again. And they're gonna attack the second auxiliary there with 3 dice. That's 1 hit on those. They will battle back. Getting nothing. Okay, going good for the Gauls here now. A bit quiet on the center though. And that's it. So we're gonna replace the card in slot C and then check out the Romans. A, B or C? Light troops, Spartacus that we had before, and then we have 3 units center. Well, should we play the Spartacus perhaps? Or order 4 light units? Could actually do some cool things here. Let's play the lights. One, 2, 3, and 4. So these guys will place themselves here. These guys march up. These guys will stay. And these guys move up 1. And then it's the battle phase. So let's start with the Velites throwing the javelins against the hills, and that Auxilia unit there. That's a flag. We have a leader with us, so we ignore that. Then we start throwing some javelins from here. The Roman Auxilia will fire with 1 die against that unit. That's a miss. We have the Velites 1 die. Another miss. And then we have the last, a close combat here from that Auxilia. We have some Italian units there attacking. Well, they get 1 hit. They will battle back with 3. Getting a hit and a flag. So 1 hit, and then we need to retreat. Not looking too good. Well, that's it. So we're gonna give the Romans a card in slot A. And I think I'll end the session here. I know it could go fast from here, but I'll yeah, let's I think it has been a while now, so let's break it here and do another session for I'm sure it's just gonna be one more and then it's over. So what have you seen? Well, in the head of the Roman column, nothing has happened. They just stopped here, stared at each other, and while a lot of things happening here, the Gauls fiercely charged. We have seen quite a lot of skirmishing happening, and then heavy combat here. First in the center, Flaminius has been in heavy combat all the time. He lost his Legion of Unity he was attached to. He has now moved on to some allied tribe unit here, Auxilia, marching those guys against the flank where the Gauls have been attacking very hard. We have seen some cavalry doing a small skirmish, then retreating back to the hills, and well, the Romans has been really eaten up here. Big chunks of Romans, well, 3 units dead and a few in a bad position here, or bad shape I should say. But also, I mean, the Romans got 2 banners, they killed 2 units, and they have gotten some of their Gauls in a bad shape here. And I mean, historically, in this battle, it was the Gauls who took the biggest loss of the Carthaginians here. I think they got some 1,500 losses or something in this battle, as it's recorded. Anyway, that's all for this session. Let's see how it ends in part 2. Thanks for watching, and welcome back to part 2. Bye bye.